Good morning to you, and welcome to Charlene's Kitchen. Today we're going to make my Christmas soup. Hi there. I wanted to show you my Christmas soup that I make every year. For years I've done that, and it was from my mother-in-law. And basically, years ago, it was meatless, and we didn't even have meat on Christmas Eve. So this is a meatless soup, and it's the base is Campbell's tomato soup. And so it's really fairly simple, although you have to have a certain amount of little ingredients. I'm gonna just give you an idea of what you'll need. I put some butter in my pot here, in my soup pot. And of course, I always use the Land O'Lakes olive oil and sea salt mix and butter. And so now we're going to put in our raw vegetables into this soup pot, it's nice and hot down already. So we're going to drop the carrots, 2 carrots cut up, 2 sticks of celery chopped up. I cut up 3 red potatoes. They weren't really big, kind of medium. 3 potatoes. That goes in there. Okay, and now an onion, a half an onion, because it was a big one, and 3 cloves of garlic. Put that in there. 2 cloves of garlic. Okay, we got that. And that's going to saute a little bit, like that. Now, we're going to, after that gets a little started up, I'll show you, we're going to use the Campbell's tomato soup is the base of this whole thing. And so I have 3 cans, and I use 1 can of stewed tomatoes. Now we're going to go to the seasonings. Into this little bowl, we're going to put together all the seasonings. So it's 2 teaspoons of salt, and let's see, we need a little pepper, so maybe about a teaspoon of pepper, maybe not quite, half a teaspoon of pepper, a little basil, I would say a teaspoon of basil, okay, a teaspoon of basil. Now what else do we have here? I have to make sure I get it all. Oh, a little allspice, and you just use a dash of allspice, a dash. Okay, I did too. Okay, a bay leaf, 2 bay leaves. We'll put those right in there. A little dash of garlic powder. Okay, a dash of onion powder. And that should do that. And that's our little seasoning. We're also going to add a teaspoon of sugar. Might as well just put it all in. That's all done. We'll put that to the side. We're going to use 3 beef bouillons. 3, that's 1. And I have 2 in my stewed tomatoes. So 1 jar of stewed tomatoes. Now let's see if I need to add anything else. I think we put in all our seasoning, and now we're going to start adding our stewed tomatoes and the 3 cans of soup into the pot. Now we're going to add, we made that little bowl with all our seasoning. I'm going to drop it into the sauteing vegetables. Drop that all in there. And I also wanted to add a tablespoon of parsley, which I didn't do. Oh, and we'll put that in there. I'm going to show you what I'm doing in there. Okay, so now we have all the seasonings and the 3 beef bouillons, that I said. I'm going to put the stewed tomatoes, 1 jar, 14-ounce jar of stewed tomatoes in there. All right, you can hear that. The soup says, I'm happy now. All right, I'm going to get that a little stir. And I am now going to add the 3 cans of tomato soup. 3 cans of tomato soup. I just put them all in here. And get that into your, and that is your base. All right. So now, 3 cans of soup. I'm going to stir up this, whatever's in the can, you know, that's what Mother taught me. So I'm going to just pour that rest of the water. Now 3 cans of water. There we go. We may add more, but right now this is where it's at. So 3 cans of water to follow through. I always rinse my cans out like that. Did your mother do that too? You know, years ago, we saved everything. Okay, so that's how it goes. So now we're gonna just stir that all up. Stir that all up. And so, now we're gonna bring that to a simmer. And when it simmers for about, 20 minutes or so, we're gonna taste it. And really, that is the soup. And then what we add are our frozen vegetables. Corn and peas and, well, we have our carrots already, maybe some green beans. I have a nice Italian friend, Amy. She said, could I put zucchini in it? I said, absolutely. Make it your own. Make it your own. So I said, put the zucchini in. Maybe you want to put a little noodle in there. We never did. This was kind of just a vegetable soup. And what we did is I do serve it with rice, but I make the rice ahead of time, and then I put it in when I'm ready to serve. And the reason is that when I used to put the rice in, it would just eat up so much of the sauce, and then I had to alter it by adding a chicken broth, you know. So we're going to bring this to a simmer, and then we'll start adding our veggies. So now my soup is bubbling, really nice, really nice. And about 15 minutes went by. And what I did is I checked the potatoes to see just where are they, because that was raw, you know. And the fork is going in nice, and the carrots were raw, and they're going in nicely. So I think now it's a good time to put in my frozen veggies, okay? Because we don't want any of that to be mushy. So you do have to, you know, double check it. Now I put little lima beans in mine, and about a cup of lima beans, and a cup of mixed vegetables, green beans, corn, a little diced carrots are in there too. That doesn't hurt. And we're going to mix that up and take a look at that. And I'm going to also add some ketchup. All right. About 2 tablespoons of ketchup. In fact, I'm going to put a little water in here and get that, because that's the end of it. And I'm going to run that in there. And I have my container here. I usually add about 6 cups of water to this, okay? So I didn't do that from the beginning, and I will be. That means that we might have to alter it, maybe with a little more salt or a bouillon. So I'm going to put the rest of this, rinse out that ketchup bottle, you know? Do you do things like that? Okay. And the rest of the water. So it was 6 cans of water altogether. Let's bring that to a simmer and look at it. You know, see how you like it. You can add more vegetables if you want. The bay leaves are in there, the beef bouillon. We're going to check that and see if we need more salt. Let's put that on a simmer again, and we'll see what happens. You know what? A funny thing, I reviewed my video while I was resting and the soup was simmering. And I'm looking at the seasonings as I'm putting it in, and I'm thinking, oh, I think I saw the parsley when I said, and I said it was basil. So I didn't put the basil in. I didn't. So I've got, I think, 2 tablespoons of parsley in there. Oh well, what can I do? But I'm going to add that basil right now, and I'm not going to forget it. And it's made me laugh. It's okay. It's basil. See, basil. Okay. I'm just going to put it in my hand. A little bit of basil. Okay. That was fun. I thought they might see that it's parsley. Look what she's doing. So here it is. Even though I set it all out, what can I tell you? But I'm fessing up, right? Okay. So put your basil in when you're supposed to put it in. All right. So now the soup is really it's done, and I'm going to just check the taste because you remember I had told you that I added 3 more cups of water. So I'm going to just take a little taste of that and see where we're at. And we can always alter. So always taste your food. I always tell you that because you just never know. Okay. I don't know. It still tastes really just delightful like it's supposed to. And that is what the recipe calls for. But see, when you're adding 3 more cups of water, right, you would think, well, it's going to be off. But it's not. And so we're going to make a little bowl of this soup. I'm going to add the rice to it. And you'll see how that looks, okay? So now I'm going to add a little rice to my bowl. And when you make your soup, make your rice, and put it all in the refrigerator. And I think you know that people who make stews and soups, that they say, "Wow, this tastes so much better the next day." It does. You can make that soup even 3 days in advance. And I have a lot of stuff that I have to make for Christmas Eve dinner, so it's really nice because I can make that soup. And then I have to make my pierogies and so all that stuff. And it's nice to have something that you can make ahead because you can never do it all in one day. So you add a little rice. And when my company comes on Christmas Eve, I add the rice right to the soup. And so here I'm going to add a little bit of that wonderful soup with the potatoes and the vegetables. It's wonderful. My kids love it. I make enough so that they can take something home. And I put it in little jars for them, and we all can, after, on Christmas Day, my husband will say, "You have any of that soup left?" One time I said, I gave it all to the kids. Well, why? Why? What about me? So I don't make that mistake again, which is right? Okay, so here we go. Oh, that is so, it's very, very comforting. And my little, those little lima beans. I love little lima beans. And sometimes, and you can see, it's just a nice consistency, and the rice is really good too. And you can do the noodle thing too. Make little noodles, and if you make them ahead again. As I say, don't put the noodles in there until you're ready to serve, or put them in the bowl that you're serving it, and then everybody gets some at the table, because any kind of pasta or rice will just soak up your sauce, and also the noodles explode. They don't even taste right. Well, this is the beginning of our Christmas season. I hope you make my soup. It's a wonderful, and it's a wonderful meatless soup, and it's great any time of the year. Merry Christmas.